Hello, you guys. Welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, welcome. We're the Conkus. We share bits and pieces of the joys of marriage, faith, life, and just how we're navigating through adulthood together. So thank you for joining us. How is everyone? We really hope that you guys are doing well because honestly, these past few weeks have just felt so incredibly busy for us. And it really is true what they say. Busy season will naturally reveal what you prioritize when life stops feeling so convenient. And to say the least, these past few weeks have been very inconvenient in the best way. I feel like these past few weeks, we have just been living out of a suitcase, packing before we're packing to go somewhere new. But just for a little bit of reference, Dell was in Minnesota for his friend's engagement. I flew to North Carolina for my friend's pharmacy graduation, and we both joined back together in Virginia for my sister's graduation. And then a few days later, we flew down to Texas for his sister's graduation. So today's video will mainly just be about how we navigate through all of that while also being intentional in everything, intentional relationships, intentional with each other and with those around us. Dell and I were talking about it the other day, but we think that one thing this season has really been reminding us is how much intentionality actually matters, especially in seasons where it becomes really easy for you to move through life quickly without being fully present in it. And so you naturally begin to just focus on the logistics, on thinking of your flights, your schedules, your reservation, timing, making sure everything's packed. Like you were just moving from one thing to the next without fully processing it in the best way. And I think if you're not careful, you can end up spending so much time managing life that you don't actually slow down to experience the moments that you're managing. Last time I came here, I got exactly what I would normally order, but I think this time I'm going to try something new because why not? I feel like they have really good food that I haven't quite explored. Like these chili crisp cucumbers. That sounds really good. Tomorrow is my friend's graduation, which I'm so excited for. She was one of my very first friends I ever made in college, and just reminiscing, I'm like, she's such a hard worker, and I'm so proud of her. I'm so proud of her becoming a doctor and just how far she's come. They really endured those 4 extra years in Chapel Hill. Power to them. After my 4 years, I was like, yeah, that's enough of this state. Next one. I don't know what it is. Something about the feeling of starting brand new. Like starting on a clean slate, I feel like I really gravitate towards that. I don't know. A lot of people don't get that feeling. A lot of people are more like reminiscent and like nostalgic of the things that they're leaving. But for me, I feel like I find a lot of joy in rediscovering myself in these spaces. It's so funny because one of our friends during our last leg in Texas had actually mentioned to us that we're going back and forth about how we can be more intentional to each other because we're trying so hard to be intentional. And I thought that that was very funny, and it really allowed me to see just how willing we are to sacrifice something so that we make sure that the other person is also being fed within that moment. So we're very intentional about our relationship, and we want to make sure that it's received well with the other person. So that's really something that we had to navigate this weekend. We love celebrating people. We love being present for their milestones. But we never want to be so consumed with how busy life is that the actual meaning behind where we are and why we're here starts getting lost. So I feel like that was a very long intro to talk about intentionality, but that is just how important it is to me. When you think about it, graduations are celebrations that people remember for a really long time. And I think there's something that is so special about being present in those seasons where the people that you love are, being celebrated for these seasons that they've worked so hard at. But I do think at the same time, busy seasons can really test how intentional you are about your relationship or about feeding those relationships. And that's just because when life gets fast, it's so easy for you to start operating beside each other instead of with each other, in conjunction, in marriage with each other, in union with each other. All of the unison words you can put in there. That was so good. I won't lie to you. I don't know if I miss North Carolina or if I just miss my friends and have missed being in this environment with my friends, but that was so good. And it was a bloom, and like there were flowers. Everything was so intentional about the party, and I love a good intentionally themed party. So yeah, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna drop this car off, and we'll meet back up with a couple of us probably around 5 to do a couple of things for 2 hours, and then I'll head to the airport, and that'll be my trip, my Charlotte leg, and I'll be reunited with Dell. I'll literally be reunited with him tonight, actually. That's crazy. One thing that Dell and I have valued lately is slowing down enough to check in on each other throughout the day. And that is one very, very small way to just show that I'm being intentional in this. I still want to pour into this, even though everything looks very messy right now. But you really don't know just how far a good debrief or just a good conversation can go after an event. And I feel like sometimes Stella and I do think about the same thing, but I want to talk it out. I want to have the conversation. And it's small moments like that that can really protect the integrity and the closeness between each other. So I'm going to give a very small, probably niche, almost silly example, but we love to have a good jam session in the car, especially when we're going from one event to the next. Just being able to like sing our heart out, sing to each other. It feels very poetic in a way. But just find something that you both enjoy doing that you feel like will help protect some of that closeness that you want to feel throughout a busy season of your life. You simply have to make sure that you are intentional, even in the little bits of time that you have. So for example, we had a cute little 2-hour drive to my sister's graduation, and we were just jamming our hearts out in the car. And on the ride back, we had a 2-hour debrief of how the event went. And so it was just such a good combination of how we were being intentional to each other throughout the day in these small, tiny moments without us even realizing.
Especially with the cards, the red
And the red is complementing me really well. Thank I won't lie, some of my favorite moments within these past few weeks haven't actually been the trips or the graduations themselves. Congrats to everyone. I'm so, so proud of you. Literally so proud. You've made me so proud. You've made him so proud. You've made your family so proud. But our favorite parts were definitely just the small, quick meals that we were grabbing, the little conversations that we were having here and there. I feel like I say this every single video, but our lives are really so busy. And if we're not intentional with our time, it will get lost. So life will always be busy in some way. And a lot of adulthood, I feel like, is just how to stay soft, how to stay connected and emotionally available while carrying on all of these busy life adulthood responsibilities, because everything will not always be perfect in every season, but you have to make sure to make the most of every season. The biggest goal I feel like I've been noticing throughout this year is not being in control of every season that you're in, which coming from me is something that I have a very hard time with. I'm such a control freak and I like to control situations. But letting go of some of that control, being present in the moment, letting God do his job of being in control will go so far in terms of your mood, in terms of your intentionality, in terms of how you're navigating through your relationships and making sure that you are actually physically present in it rather than just thinking about how you can make the moment perfect. is kind of what life has looked like for us lately. A whole lot of movement, a lot of family time, and a lot of celebrations. And it's honestly just a good reminder that some of the most beautiful moments in life are usually just the small ones in between everything else. So thank you guys so much for spending some time with us. We hope that you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you guys for the next one.